Welcome, everybody. My name is Chris Alemany. You're watching the alberniweather.ca podcast, and it is February 9th, 2024. And we're going to talk a little bit about the snowpack and our forecast coming up and a few other things. So it's been quite nice. You can see the sun on my face this morning. It's clear and nice in Nanaimo. It is going to cloud over a little bit in the next couple days, but there are other things here that we need to talk about. So let's get started. Um, You'll see on the side here, I have the temperature right now at Alberni Weather is 0 0.8 degrees in Port Alberni, and it is calm. The humidity is 97%, definitely foggy when I came by. You can see the hump cam there at the top of the summit. Highway 4 is looking pretty good. No fog at the top of the hump, so that's nice. And we can see on the webcam that let's go to the actual webcam. Can see that things are probably going to clear up here later on. There we go. Nice picture from Alberni weather. So looking nice out there. A little foggy to start, but you can already see that sun is starting to come through. We're definitely getting lighter in the mornings. It's very nice. A little earlier, and it's not getting dark until 5:30 or 6. So it's looking good. We're getting up towards spring. But on that note, let's have a look at the latest from the River Forecast Center because they released their latest bulletin. There it is, yesterday, February 8th. So let's look here. Dum-dum-dum-dum. Okay. So this is our map of snow basin indexes, and unfortunately we can see that the south coast is in the worst position in the whole province. If I zoom out, you can see north here is 67%, Liard. The Stikine is at 90%. It's doing pretty well. The Peace is at 78. The Skeena and Nass are at 69. So is the Upper Fraser. Upper Fraser East 61. Quesnel is at 55. Central Coast 69. North Thompson 73. Lower Thompson 71. Okanagan 86. And then we get down into the southwest here. So Similkameen, 60%, the Lower Fraser, 47%, the South Coast, 41%, and Vancouver Island is only at 30% of its regular snowpack. At this point in time last year, we were at 75% of normal. So we have a serious issue coming into the spring here. You've heard it on the news from various sources. I believe Premier Eby had a comment about it yesterday. So yeah, it is a serious problem. Now, I just want to see if they have. Plan releases, snow survey. They don't have any updated commentary. Yeah. So it doesn't look like they have any updated commentary. It's um, just the map there that they've updated. So obviously not a good situation. Um, if we look at the drought information here. Let's see if they've updated that recently. They may not have because it is still Winter. Yeah, they don't have anything really about the winter, but they do have this, which has been out and about a little bit. Um, BC, the government is working with farmers to prepare for summer drought. So they're really seeing this coming. It's pretty clear that they're concerned about the water supply going into the spring and summer. So the government is looking at some workshops with 30 communities throughout the province, all of the regions, especially in the south. And it is working, first of all, the first agricultural water management workshop is scheduled for February 15th. That's next week in Cobble Hill, and February 16th in Port Alberni. So these workshops are free, but registration is required, it says. So if you are a farmer, or you work a significant piece of land, then you may want to register for that and get some updates on the drought conditions that they are expecting. And I imagine they will be talking about steps that farmers can take in order to conserve water and hopefully make it through the summer. So that's a serious issue, obviously. The other part of that is going to go hand in hand with poor water supply in the summer is going to be the wildfire risk. We're already seeing a serious rain deficit as far as what we would expect this time of year, and yeah, it's not looking good. So the forests are going to be dried out if we don't get some good rain in the next couple months. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the forecast coming up here. So let's just look at the low resolution here just so that we can see a little bit of what's coming. So over the next week, here we go. So Friday night, you can see there's a little bit of moisture coming onto the island. Not a whole lot. It'll be mostly focused on the central coast into tomorrow morning. Some will come down towards the South Island on Saturday morning. Certainly on the west coast, you can expect some rain. Tofino, Ucluelet, Port Renfrew, maybe a little bit in Port Alberni, but it looks like a bit of a rain shadow in there. Looks like there will be some rain on the east side of the island and Vancouver. So that's good to see. Not a huge amount of rain, but it does look like it will continue through Sunday and intensify on Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then we should see some rain in Port Alberni on Sunday and through the entire south coast on Sunday. So that's good news. Get a little bit of rain. Let's just switch to the map so we can see if any of this is going to fall as snow. Um, it should fall as snow in the higher elevations. So we can see the green here is snowfall, just snowfall. So we can see it going into the central mountains there on the interior, a little bit at the highest points on Vancouver Island. So not a whole lot, unfortunately, to add to the snowpack on Vancouver Island. So that's this weekend. Now I'm just going to back up again and go back to the rain picture here, just the precipitation picture. So looking into Saturday and Sunday, there it is again. Now looking further into next week, we can see that we dry out right through Wednesday, and then we have a system moving up from the south. It looks like on Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. So that'll be our next little bit of precipitation Wednesday night into Thursday. So big gap there. And it doesn't look particularly strong on Wednesday, Thursday. And it looks like we have a bit of a ridge setting up and deflecting precipitation for the next week into next weekend. So that's Family Day weekend. So yeah, bit of a concern. We're definitely not getting a ton of rain. We'll get a little bit on Saturday, Sunday, and then another little bit here on Wednesday, Thursday, but nothing huge. Okay, so let's go and look back at the River Forecast Center here. I'm just going to back up. There we go. And I'd like to see the snow conditions in the archive here. I believe that's in here. There we go. Okay, so this is their raw data that they have. Let's just see if it's updated. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not updated yet. So they have February 8th here, but they haven't updated the values. So we should by the end of the weekend, probably by the end of today, this should be filled in. I went through this chart in the last video in the last podcast, so you can check that out if you like. Yeah, I'll make another video when they update this. Hopefully they have it updated by the end of the day today, so I can make a video tomorrow or Sunday about it. Okay, so let's look then at a little bit longer range. So just to get an idea of what we can expect going forward here in the next, 2 weeks or more. So this is Spot WX, very nice little web page. Here we go. And what it has is a number of different models, but the one I really like that it has easily is this 16-day forecast. So it really looks way out into the future, and gives us a bit of an idea of what to expect. So here's the temperature at the top here. You can see it's pretty stable around 5 degrees. So that's actually pretty good news because that's still enough that if we get some precipitation, it might fall as snow on the mountains. So that's good. We can see the nighttime temperatures here are down around 0, or maybe just below. So that's good. Daytime highs up around 8. 8, 4, but somewhere between 4 and 8. We could see this weekend stays very consistent around 4 or 5 degrees, and then we get some variability here from day to night. So, but still sticking in that low, close to 0, below 5 degrees. So that's good for the potential for snow. The bad news is right here. So we can see there's our system that we expect this weekend between Saturday and Sunday. So it's expecting 40 millimeters, which is a fair amount, actually, for Port Alberni. I think that might be overdoing it a little bit. But then you can see it is basically flat for the rest of the month, right out to February 24th. So between now and February 24th, it's only expecting 100 millimeters of rain. On the high end here, you can see, there's lots of uncertainty in this model. So the high end is 300 millimeters, but I definitely, go more towards the median here. 100 millimeters. That means after Sunday, only another 50 millimeters or so through the next 2 weeks. So that is not a whole lot. The snowfall amount here. It says maybe we'll get a little bit of snow on that Wednesday, Thursday. Although I kind of disagree with that because it's coming up from the south. I don't think we'll see that kind of snowfall, even if it's just 5 centimeters. But who knows? But yeah, that's a concern. We don't see usually, you would see in the span of a couple weeks, you would see this bump up a couple times as we get those pulses of rain from the Pacific. And we just don't see that. So that's a concern. Um, so I would think for the next, couple weeks, it's going to be pretty dry, and it's likely that this month, February, is going to stay dry. So I'm going to talk about the El Nino in a second, but first, before I do that, um, shoot, uh, I was going to talk about something else first, but now I forget. So that's okay. We'll just do El Nino forecast. See if that's it. There we go. So this is the um, forecast, the latest forecast for El Nino. It's fairly interesting because what it is actually telling us is it's expecting a transition out of El Nino into neutral conditions by spring, so April to June 2024, with increasing odds of La Nina in the June to August period. So, 55% isn't exactly certain. But yeah, so they're looking definitely 79% chance that El Nino is going to do a quick turnaround and go back to neutral conditions. So that is, I think, a good sign as far as the heat aspect of things. We're not going to see that huge injection of heat into the atmosphere from El Nino that we might have expected if it had lasted for a full year. It doesn't look like that's the case. Looks like it's going to go back to neutral. What that doesn't speak well for is the possibility of drought. So La Nina is generally when we have our drought type of conditions. So if we're looking at a La Nina starting to develop into June, August, then we could again see drought conditions in that September, October, November timeframe this year. So really, it doesn't look good for drought conditions at all in the next little while. It's either going to be just too warm for the snowpack because of El Nino right now. So what little rain we are getting is not falling as snow. And then if La Nina comes back, then that is going to dry things up completely, and we just won't get any precipitation. So that is a big problem. I'll just read this out a little bit. So during January 2024, above average sea surface temperatures continued across most of the equatorial Pacific Ocean. Anomalies weakened slightly in the eastern and east central Pacific, as indicated by the weekly Niño index values. However, changes were more pronounced below the surface of the equatorial Pacific Ocean, with area average subsurface temperatures anomalies returning to near zero, so returning closer to normal. Although above average temperatures persisted in the upper 100 meters of the equatorial Pacific, below average temperatures were widespread at greater depths, so cooler at depth. Atmospheric anomalies across the tropical Pacific also weakened during January. Low-level winds were near average over the equatorial Pacific, while upper-level wind anomalies were easterly over the east central Pacific. Convection remained slightly enhanced near the dateline and was close to average around Indonesia. Collectively, the coupled ocean atmosphere system reflected a weakening El Nino. So they're seeing that those signs that the El Nino is starting to weaken. So there you go. So what we're going to do here, I'm just going to go back and yeah. So that's the question about that. Oh, they've actually so it says and so alert system. So this is our El Nino advisory right now, and they have posted a La Nina watch, which just means that they expect most likely a La Nina will occur in the next year or so. Or 6 months. So it says issued when conditions are favorable for the development of El Nino or La Nina conditions within the next 6 months. So that's what the watch means. So that's what we can expect in the next little while here. I would expect there not to be much. I remember now what I was going to look for before I went to the El Nino, and that was the historical amount of rain that we usually get in February's. So um, let's go look at the summary. If you haven't already checked out the summary for January, I highly recommend it. It's got lots of great data in there. Let's just go look at this one. Oh, actually, no, sorry, not that one. We'll look at the SOMAS. So for the SOMAS, the normal amount of rain in Port Alberni for February is 234 millimeters. So that's the normal amount that we'd expect, 260 millimeters of precipitation, 32 centimeters of snow. So we're definitely not going to get 32 centimeters of snow unless we get a foot of snow at the end of the month. We might get 5 centimeters. Next week they were talking about on Spot X, it had it pop up to 5 centimeters. I don't think so, but maybe. But yeah, our normal amount of precipitation for February is 234. Right now, my station is at da, 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 da. For February, it is at 11 millimeters. 11 millimeters for February. So the first 9 days. So we have a long way to go to get to 234, that's for sure. So I don't think we're going to get there. We will definitely be under that, certainly compared to what we would expect, and given that forecast. So this forecast doesn't look like 200 and some. That would be up here. Yeah. So I'll leave it there. I hope that was interesting and useful for you. Please do like and subscribe. And I'll probably see you again either tomorrow or Sunday when they update the information from the Snowpack data. So I'll keep an eye on that, and when they update it, I'll put out another video. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. See you soon.